All right, we're live.
Hey, Nate.
Hey, what's going on?
Do we have to pretend like we haven't been talking for 10 minutes already? This is our first one. This is our first live Stop the Killer event, and it's really cool. And so if you're joining us, thank you for coming. It's going to be really, really neat. We're going to show you sort of like a preview of the game.
Nola Ray sends us some knives. Very fitting.
What the hell does that mean? Should I be scared? What the hell? By the way, my cat is here. Hold on.
I was gonna say there's a cat in Nola Ray's picture. So
that's guys, this is Lester. He's like my pride and joy. I have two cats, Spooky and Lester. And this little guy, he wakes me up every night twice to get fed, and I don't know what to do. If you guys have any tips on how to make a cat stop bothering you twice in the middle of the night, let me know. Well, cool. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for joining. We're going to wait a few minutes for more people to come on because usually it's like, my understanding is, it takes a little while sometimes. But hey, thanks for coming. Stop the Killer. We're just kind of getting started. This is our fourth game, but it's sort of closing out a series of, if you purchased our previous three games, you kind of know how they play. And so if you have Silent Night, Deadly Night, oops, hold on, I should get rid of that. Silent Night, Deadly Night. If you have this game, you know how the Ghostface game plays, except we've added a few really cool attributes to the Ghostface game where you can have up to 3 killers on the board and you can become one of the killers. And so that's kind of the main upgrade to the game. Look at this cat. He's trying to upstage me. Look at this. It's like, wait, can I completely hide him? Here we go. Hold on. Wait. With perspective. Ta-da! Oh my God. Whatever.
Hello, Darky Darko.
Hey, Darky Darko. Hello, hello.
Hello, October Boy.
October Boy. Wait, that sounds familiar. Mikey, is that you? I know your name. That's you, Mikey, isn't it? And My Bloody Valentine, we did My Bloody Valentine and Halloween 2, which is our latest, greatest. I'm so excited to ship this out. We should be shipping earlier than expected. It's on a cargo ship, and so anything could happen. Hey, the ship could sink, but we won't say that. But yeah, so it's like they've just been sort of coming, and we didn't plan a 4-game series. We just sort of like landed there, and with Ghostface kind of closing it out, with this 4th game. We're just so happy. I didn't know. What is Nola Ray saying? I didn't know about the earlier games, sadly. Nola Ray, I'm going to make you real happy right now.
That's exactly why I put that comment up.
If you pledge to the Kickstarter campaign, you'll get access to the previous games while supplies last. We don't have an unlimited supply. We over-ordered a little bit for each of the games. And so a couple weeks into the campaign, you'll get like a private email that says, or a message to a private link that no one will be able to see. So if somebody were just to go to the Stop the Killer website to buy the game, they won't see it, but you'll be able to see it. And then you'll be able to pick up the previous games. And so that's true for all of the games. So if anyone's watching and you bought Silent Night, Deadly Night, but you didn't pick up My Bloody Valentine and Halloween 2, same thing. You'll be, as long as you're a backer to a previous campaign, you'll be able to get access to our previous games. And we figured that's a perk of being a backer. It's a way of saying thank you for supporting us when you need us, when we need you, the other way around. So, well, cool. All right. So while we're waiting, there might be 1 or 2 more people coming. I went to the Halloween convention this past weekend. And so I figured, Nate, I'll share my screen here. I can kind of just show you a few of the people that I met, because I don't know if you guys are watching, but know this, but I organized the first convention. So the 25th anniversary convention 20 years ago. Let's see, quick share screen. Let me click on what to share. Window, here we go. Yeah, I organized the 25th anniversary convention. So it was the first one, and they've been replicating it every 5 years. And so Malik Akkad, who owns the rights to the series, who's Mustafa Akkad's son, called me for the 30th anniversary and said, do you want to do it? And I said no, because I didn't think anything could ever top the 25th. I mean, it was the first, you know, it was so much fun, but also it takes like a year out of your life. I mean, it's just constant planning and all of that. And so I said, Malik, as much as I want to say yes, I have to say no. But I go to them every 5 years and it's really neat. So it was really fun to go like 20 years later. Everyone's 20 years older, you know, whatever. But anyway, here's PJ. You know, PJ's a good friend. This is my really good friend, Matt. Matt is the writer and director of the Halloween 2 Kickstarter video. So if you go to that campaign, you can go to it right now or after we're done and watch that video, the 7-minute video for the game. That's Matt. He wrote and directed it, and I think he did an amazing job, and he's a really, really good friend. And this is my friend Steve. I met Steve 20 years ago at the Halloween convention, and we've all kept in touch with PJ. And so she saw us and ran out from behind her table. She had this long line and she hugged us. It was really nice to see her. Me and Gloria Gifford. Love Gloria. Gloria came to my housewarming party in 2009. And we don't see each other a lot, but when we do, it's like, you know, we just get back to, we're just like old buddies. And she hadn't seen the game, and I showed her her game piece. She's like, it looks a little bit like me, you know, and she was just having fun with it, and she likes to joke around, but she was great. This is Steph Hutchinson. Steph Hutchinson is the writer and director of the Halloween 25 Years of Terror documentary that I produced, and I haven't seen Steph in 20 years. So when I walked in and I saw him sitting there, when we gave each other a big hug, and it was just great talking about that. These are the guys at Fright Rags, and I work with them daily on these games. So on the left is Joe. Joe he designs all the game boards for the board game. He does like all the layout, and just an incredible graphic designer. I've not seen skills that top his. I am in awe of his talent. And this is Chris Tansky on the right. And he helps with licensing and all of that. And so they were at the convention at the booth, and I didn't meet Ben, who owns the company. Ben was unable to attend the event due to a personal reason. But I met these guys and they were great. And I was like, you know, I've been working with you for 2 years. So it was great to meet them. This is Spencer Charnas, who is the lead singer of Ice Nine Kills, if you know who Ice Nine is. Nate and I met Spencer at Scream Comes Home, which is a Ghostface related thing. So yeah, if you guys don't know what Scream Comes Home was, it was a big party at the house where they filmed the last act of Scream. And so how did we meet Spencer, Nate? Like what?
He reached out to us.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because he's such a big fan.
Yeah. So what happened was he sent an email to us and said, hey, you don't know who I am. You might know who I am. You might not. But I'm a front man of this band called Ice Nine Kills. And I used to run HalloweenMovies.com for 7 years. And I used to get emails from people all the time, from bands that say we're a garage band and we've written our definitive theme of the Halloween theme and whatever. And it was always these like garage bands that just played locally or just were friends and all of that. So I immediately defaulted to that, and I shuttled the email to Nate. I said, can you look into this? And within like 10 minutes, Nate's like, we got to get to know this guy. He's amazing. And his band is a genius and everything. And long story short, Spencer's so talented, and we've stayed in touch with him, and he's amazing. So Spencer was there. He came over to me. I didn't even see him. All of a sudden he was standing before me. This is Pete Brecky. I don't know if you guys know who Pete Brecky is in the middle. Pete wrote Crystal Lake Memories, the book on Friday the 13th, the definitive book. And I met him 20 something years ago, and we've kept in touch. And that's Malik Akkad. And so, I haven't seen Malik in years and years. I mean, I had nothing to do with anything from Halloween after maybe 2009, 2010. But, just like, I mean, I worked for him for 7 years. So it was really neat to kind of see everybody. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. I just figured I'd show those to you while we're kind of waiting, but awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming. I'm just going to share the Kickstarter with you now and just show you, Nate, is that probably the best thing to do? Just kind of, all right, let me do that. Let me do this. Present, share screen. Let's see. Entire screen. Maybe I don't share the entire screen. I'm trying to figure out how to share just Maybe we'll do that. Can you guys see my tabs? Oh my God. What did I do? Let's see. Where's the Kickstarter? Can you guys see the Kickstarter or no?
I can see it.
All right. Because I can't see. Let me see. Yeah, because I can't see the StreamYard anymore. But so if I scroll down, you can see it.
Yeah, I can see you scrolling in your cursor and everything.
Okay, so I can't see you guys, but I'm just gonna like walk you down. But this is pretty much when you log in tomorrow, when you go to the campaign tomorrow, which is 9:00 Pacific, California, noon, New York. You'll just see this, and we have a video. It's like 10 or 11 minutes, and what we do in the video is we explain what Stop the Killer is. We bring you through the past 3 games. You'll see the licensors from those previous games, kind of just telling you their experience they had with Stop the Killer. And we're just sort of telling you how Stop the Killer evolved, how we landed at Ghostface. And that's pretty much it. And so this is the cover of the box. And the artwork was done by Justin Osborne. And, he's done all the artwork for the games. And Justin did all the Killzone artwork, the main game artwork, all of the cards, the game pieces, the instruction manual. Those are all like a mix of different people. I do the rule book. I do all of that layout and formatting. For Ghostface, there were 5 artists that we had to corral. So it was me, Joe Allard over at Fright Rags, Yannick Bouchard, who did all of the 9 Ghostfaces, which I'll show you in a second, Justin Osborne, and Aaron Lee. And we needed 5 people to get the resourcing to create all of the game pieces. And making a board game is not easy. It's complicated. And we've done 3 of these already. So there's kind of like a pipeline, but there's so much artwork that has to be done. So I'm just letting you guys know, as a collector's item, there's 5 artists that we got together to do this art. The Face of Fear is the brand new Ghostface logo, or I'm sorry, not Ghostface, Fun World issued Ghostface trademark for Ghostface. And they're going to be putting it on all of their products from this point forward. So the Ghostface game is the first item, officially licensed item, that's going to have the Face of Fear logo on it, along with the Icon of Halloween logo. So this is one of the illustrations by Justin. So basically, we've created an all-new Ghostface experience. So it's the dead of summer, and a small town in Pennsylvania wakes up to the news of someone killing the locals in a Fun World Ghostface mask. Later in the day, police learn that he's headed straight for the local drive-in to kill those attending the big horror movie triple feature. With everyone on high alert, players must beat Ghostface at his own game by working together to collect weapons, work around obstacles, draw fun cards, answer trivia questions, and ultimately flick the kill spinner to determine their fate. And this is what we've added to this game, these 2 attributes. With up to 3 killers joining the game board, the task of stopping Ghostface won't be easy, especially if one of them could be you. So unlike the other previous 3 games, you can have up to 3 killers in this game. You don't know when you're playing. It's not like you start the game and you go, let's have 3 killers, or you don't know. It's kind of like it just sort of happens. So you could have 1 killer for the game, 2 or 3, and one of you, as long as there's 2 or more players. You can't be playing it by yourself and be a killer. But as long as there's 2 Ghostfaces and 2 people playing, one of you can become Ghostface. When that happens, you sort of, on a dime, just kind of like pivot, and you start going on the offense, and you become one of the Ghostfaces, and you try to kill all your friends. It's a lot of fun. We've done a lot of test playing. And the goal, like I was talking to Nate, and we were like, the best way to do a Ghostface game that is not a Scream game is to show you things you haven't seen before. So we created a drive-in theme. By the way, Nate lives in Pennsylvania, which is why we chose a Pennsylvania location. It's kind of a tip of the hat to Nate. And so Ghostface is running around all over town, headed to this drive-in. So there's an arcade in this town in Pennsylvania, and you can see Ghostface, impaling someone with bows. Have you ever seen Ghostface with a bow and arrow? No, but you will now. This is our sort of homage to Friday the 13th. He's got a different mask with a machete. There are 9 Ghostfaces. And so we we tried to do a great mix. We tried to stay away from all the political masks just to keep this political free. So we don't have the Ukraine mask, we don't have the rainbow mask, we don't have the America mask and whatever mask. We just stuck with solid colors. And different weapons. Have you ever seen Ghostface with an ice pick? No. Gold Ghostface has a special power. So when you get the game, you'll see what his special power is. He has a different, he has one extra power the other Ghostfaces don't have. This is sort of our homage to Halloween, the butcher knife.
That's the big announcement for Ghostface fans that are privy to a certain mask that was almost released and wasn't.
Right. And what is the name? I forgot the name of it.
The oil slick mask.
Oil slick. Right. So RJ said, and we went through, we're dealing with RJ. RJ Torbert is the licensor at Fun World. So he's who we've been dealing directly with. And we said, well, what are the masks that we should use? And we wanted, we were doing all these suggestions. And he said, what about this one? And he sent over this picture of the oil slick mask. And we were like, that's amazing. Why don't you make it? And he just said, it's not being ordered for some reason, it's just not being ordered like the other masks. So they never made it. So we threw it in here and he's holding a chainsaw. And I figured, this is what I love about the game. And Nate and I, it's like, we love seeing Ghostface in all of these like different iterations. We've seen the devil, before, but you just haven't seen him. You haven't seen an oil slick Ghostface with a chainsaw. There's a double-sided game board. This is your game board. I'm trying to figure out how to, oops. I don't know if that's the biggest I can make the screen. Can you guys see that okay? Nate, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I mean, the game boards, like they have kill zones. If you played the previous games, you know what that means. And so we've taken the arrow off of the board, and in the previous games it was there. And so we're letting the artwork breathe a little more. And you could see, we've got we have 4 of the ghost face on this side, 4 of the ghost faces on this side. But if you can pick either side to play on and won't make a difference, we're just giving you 2 different sides to play on. But these are the spaces you have: add a killer and add a killer. So Ghostface is coming down like, can you see my cursor moving?
Yep.
Okay. So Ghostface starts here. All players start here. So when Ghostface starts, you can't see this now, but you'll see it when you get the game. He's sort of traveling down this path and he's going like around like this, right? When Ghostface, and he has a very specific trajectory. When he hits this spot right here, add a killer, what you do is you flick a kill spinner. And I'll pass with the stretch goals. Blah, 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 don't look. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, no. Did I not put? Oh, I don't think it's on here. Let me see if I can find. I think I didn't add that graphic to this. Yeah. There should be another graphic here. There's a kill spinner that has. So it's a double-sided kill spinner. So on the previous games, you have a spinner, a kill spinner, and that's what you use when you sort of go up to battle and you flick this little arrow and it finds out who wins the battle. Well, this game has a double-sided kill spinner. So one side is the kill spinner where you flick it, right? And it tells you who wins. But on the other side, when you land on this spot here, add a killer, you will flick it and it will land on a ghost face and it will tell you yes or no if another killer joins the board and which killer that is. And that's why you don't know how many killers you're going to have. So it's possible that, Ghostface could be coming around here, land on here, you'll flick it, and then it'll say, no, there is another Ghostface. But then he'll keep continuing around the board and he'll hit another space. And so there's 2 chances to get another killer on the board. And so, as you can see there, you can get 1, 2, or 3 killers on the board. The way you find out if you yourself are a killer is when Ghostface reaches this spot on the board. If he gets this far, you then flick the spinner and you find out if it's your turn, if you are a killer. If it's no, you pass the spinner to the next person and they flick it. If it's no, you just keep going until someone flicks a yes. And if all of you flick no, great, then you're safe. None of you go on the offense. But say me and Nate and our friends John and Sue are playing and Sue flicks a spinner, immediately she becomes the killer. And what that means is she turns in everything she has. If she has movie tickets, if she's got a weapon or a badge, she turns it all in. and she exchanges it for a single green die that she uses on every turn to hunt everyone else down, and she's trying to land on your space to go to battle. So that's what we brought to this game that is not in the previous games, is the multiple killers and the whodunit. Okay. And so you'll see tomorrow all the extra, you'll see the spinner and all that. The stretch goals are very similar to the previous campaigns where we, it costs money to make these games. And so, the higher we go, the more we can add. So here, like in the other games, we add the little, like let me show you the previous game here, what that looks like. Oh, you guys can't see my camera right now, so, so I won't. But anyway, it basically, this gold on here on the board and actually on the piece will be actual foil. Will be a nice shiny gold foil. These little spaces, when we reach 22.5, we'll be able to add a UV spotting, which just adds some shine to the board. It just makes it look, a little more professional and pretty. This is really cool. It's a sticker. We did this for Halloween too. We created a really cool kind of like sticker, collectible stickers. Stickers are all the rage. And Justin Osborne on his own sort of created this image and sent it to me and the guys at Fright Rags and said, do what you want with it. So Fright Rags is doing like t-shirts and a bunch of stuff with this image on it. And we're offering it as a sticker. We're using it elsewhere in the game. We reach 30, we can add 2 more weapons. There are 4 weapons that come in standard in the game. Here we can add an ice pick and a butcher knife if we reach this level. Number 5 is we get to add the bow and arrow. You may notice this is the same bow and arrow from Silent Night, Deadly Night. It just, we really like the design. And it, just can't top that. I think it looks pretty good, and you can't have 2 pieces. So you have to make it 1 piece, and the chainsaw. And we have a great 3D modeler that lives in Sri Lanka of all places. And he does this incredible, 3D models for us. This is the dice cup. It'll have the official logo on it. And the dice cup, it really keeps we find that it keeps the game nice and tidy. You have to roll 3 dice on every turn. And so the dice cup, we felt, that's something people really like. We're adding that really awesome Ghostface knife and mask, logo to this little bag that helps you store your game pieces. We're doing a montage of all the kill zones. And this is what Joe Allard does over at Fright Rags. So he takes all of Justin Osborne's artwork and creates a montage poster. We did this for Halloween. It's packed right in the box, so you can. It's folded, but you've at least got this really cool artwork of all the masks in it. And it says "Stop the Killer" up here, which we really liked. And of course, the trivia expansion pack. This is different than the previous packs we've done because it's not. They're not about like the previous games were about movies, right? Silent Night, Deadly Night, My Bloody Valentine, Halloween 2. Well, this is a brand new Ghostface experience. So we have different categories. You can't really see, but this is category. So you'll get like 5 or 6 cards about movies, and then there'll be 4 other categories. So you can basically, it's like Trivial Pursuit, but this is an expansion pack. The purpose of this expansion pack is to create a trivia round. So if Ghostface, let me go back to the board here. He's trying to get from this corner all the way to this corner. That's it. All right. And all you're trying to do is stop the killer. You're trying to stop the killer from going all around the board. You're trying to stop him from getting from here to here. If he hits this spot, he's only about 1, 2, 3, 4. He's only 6 spaces away from the drive-in. At that point, everybody playing. So say there's 4 of you playing. You can all agree to stop the game and play a trivia round. And what you do is you go to this, this trivia pack, you pull out a card, and you have to break the seal on it so that you can't go ahead and read all the questions in advance before your friends get there. And then you read the question, the timer is flipped. And if anyone playing and within 15 seconds can answer that question correctly, what you do is you get to go back to the board and set Ghostface back like 9 spaces on the board. And so it gives you more time to stop the killer. That's the purpose of the trivia round. And it's funny, we've test played this many, many times, and I have many people emailing us, and they're like, "Why are the questions so hard?" Or why is the question so easy? Some people love the trivia round, some people hate it, and not hate it, but they find it challenging, and it's just really great. It's just a lot of fun. So these are the add-ons, you guys. We are so excited. This is like the world premiere, right, Nate? Of like,
yes.
of our Hex decks. So we have created a card game. So one of the things that we hear here at Stop This the Killer is
I love it again like 3 more times fast.
Right, here.
Here.
HEARHERE. What things that we hear at Stop the Killer?
Oh, yeah.
I could leave out the second here. Is that I love playing games, but I have no one to play them with. So we created a solo game, and it's called the Hex Deck. And I know I want to hold out. I'll exit this in a minute.
We can see your camera.
Oh, you can? I didn't know that. Okay, so can you see me?
Yep.
This is it, you guys. This
Hold on.
This kind of gives you an idea of like how big it is. Okay, it's small. It's 3.5 inches. You can throw this in your backpack or whatever. And it's a card game. And it's called a Hex Deck. And we've done them for Ghostface. And we have the regular version on the left here, but we also have this candy corn variant, which kind of looks like this when you play it. Okay. So what you're doing is the idea of the Hex decks is you're creating a spread. So if you have ever played like, solitaire, a card game or whatever, you ultimately make spreads of cards typically, on a table. So the way that this game is played is you have these like 3 Fun World cards. The idea is that you work at Fun World. So basically you're an employee at Fun World and you put 1 card down on your table for a shorter, easier game, 2 cards down for a medium game, and 3 cards down for a longer and more difficult game. All right. And what you're doing, if you look at the picture here, is you're trying to create this spread of cards around the factory. So the idea is that you hear on the news, Ghostface is running around town. Somebody in a Ghostface mask is killing people, and they're headed to the Fun World factory. And so what do you do to kind of save your life is you start building piles and piles and piles of masks around the Fun World factory to keep the killer out. And so I'm not going to explain every little detail on how the game is played, but if you look at the cards, they have different configurations of masks on them. All right, so there's 2 sides to the cards. It doesn't matter what side you play. Let me show you this. Like you can see, there's no blue ones on that, and there's 60 of these. All right, and there are 5 ghost faces. Okay, so what's happening while you're playing the game is you're building this spread. It's an edge matching solitaire game, so you're matching masks. So if you look here, you'll see wherever there's an edge, you'll see that if there's a blue mask here, it matches the blue mask here. And so what you're doing is you're building these 3 rings around the Fun World factory. If you can complete your spread before the 5th ghost face killer card pops up, you've won. And if you can't, he's broken through and killed you. And so it's really fun. I mean, I designed this game right around the time that I designed the original Stop the Killer Silent Night game. And I kind of put it on the shelf, and I took it out and did a lot of refining and a lot of testing. And we finally ordered one, and we have 5 IPs coming for this. IP meaning intellectual property. So we have 4 other horror movies we're going to be doing this with. And I guess I'll just tell you now, one of them is Silent Night, Deadly Night. So we'll be offering a Silent Night, Deadly Night Hex Deck. And they're really cool. And the packaging is amazing. It's easy to learn. And it's just another brand new, all new Ghostface, experience. I mean, doesn't that box look really neat? And so you can sort of stack them. It's great. So we're so excited to be launching the Hex Deck series. So we have this purple version because, Fun World is purple. And then we have this really cool candy corn variant that RJ really liked. And he said, run with it. So that's what we're offering. And we're also offering Ghostface novels. If you guys know RJ Torbert, he's also an author. And not only is the licensor of the Ghostface mask, he's written 2 Ghostface novels, you guys. And Wes Craven, this is a quote from Wes Craven. He endorsed the first novel, and I've read them, and they're fantastic. So I would highly, highly recommend it. You get them, you pick them up. I mean, it's just more Ghostface. One thing that we want to point out is 100% of proceeds go to charity from the novels, and it's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Please look them up. It's t2t.org. It's a fantastic organization that's near and dear to RJ's heart. So we're making them available as add-ons. We do have another add-on that we're going to be adding later on in the campaign, so I can't share that with you now. But these are the reward levels. You can buy 1 game for $59, and it comes with all unlocked stretch goals. And one of those stretch goals is the trivia expansion. You could order 2 games or 3 games. And in case you don't know what Stop the Killer is, it's a series of games that play similarly. Ghostface is the last game in the series. We may do another one later, but just letting you know that they run as a series. So, we had this vision, Nate and I were talking, like we had this vision of like playing games on key holidays that you're familiar with. So you don't have to take it off the shelf and go, how do you play that game again? And spend 45 minutes reading an instruction manual. So take Halloween 2 out, you know how to play it because you know how to play the other games. Ghostface just has those extra attributes of multiple killer and whodunit. And then shipping and delivery, we hope to deliver by April of next year because we're still designing all the components for the game. And that's pretty much it. So let me just, I guess, how do I stop sharing? Here we go. And I should be able to see you guys. There you are. Hey, I can see you now. Hey, Reese, thank you. It does look awesome. I got to say, I love the little metal weapons. This is one from Halloween 2. It's a syringe. You got this is the actual syringe from the movie. These games, I think is all that I love is that we're making them with a lot of passion. And, Nate and I always talk about this. It's like Nate says to me, you know why we love these games so much? Because they weren't available when we were kids. And I think that there's a lot of truth to that. So, yeah. Well, I mean, if you guys have any questions or anything, now's the time to ask about previous games or stuff that's upcoming. Stop the Killer isn't stopping anytime soon. We may be ending the series, but we have these Hex decks and we have Nate and I are working on some other really cool games. And so, how do you order all the games? So, Matthew, we only do them via Kickstarter. So tomorrow morning, I don't know where you are, but 9:00 Pacific AM, you'll be able to go to a Kickstarter. So just go to stopthekiller.com and click on the main image of the Ghostface game. It'll take you straight to the Kickstarter. But all you do is pledge through Kickstarter. If you don't have a Kickstarter account, it's really easy. You just create a free account and then you click through like any other shopping cart, enter your credit card, and you reserve a reward. So you don't get charged right away. You get charged after 30 days. And our campaign ends on Halloween afternoon. And then so when it ends, you get charged. So that's how you order it, including all the add-ons. So the Hex decks and the novels will be available right there inside. So you can go click through your order and just add them to your cart. That's how you order the game. Yes, we do. I love Black Christmas. Oh my God. That movie scared the crap out of me. I mean, oh my God, I love that movie. Yes, we do have plans for Black Christmas. We don't have anything that we're tangibly designing, but the conversation has been started. And we'd love to do a Hex deck for it, but also a game as well. If only, because Nate and I talk about, we love that little, the unicorn, that glass unicorn.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I'll do it just to replicate that, just to have that as like a little game piece or something. But yeah, Black Christmas it's one of my favorites. It's like I love Halloween. It's like I always say it's my favorite movie, but there are times I'm like, I think I like Black Christmas better. But then I slap my face in the mirror and say, what are you doing? that's sacrilege. So, well, cool. An homage to Clue. Yes. The metal weapons. Yeah, for some reason I didn't. One of the graphics was left out of that campaign preview for some weird reason. So the weapons are. So the weapons. Oh my God, if I can recall them right off hand. Oh, yeah, they were in the campaign. So it is a buck knife, of course, a bow and arrow, ice pick, machete, pitchfork, sickle, butcher knife, and chainsaw. Now there are 8 kill zones, but 9 ghost faces. And so it was RJ that said, you guys have to put the gold ghost face in there. He's like, it's everybody loves the gold. Everyone's ordering it. The gold ghost face is everything. So it was his idea to give Ghostface a special power. It's a special power that favors him, not you guys. So just letting you know. But that was RJ. And the thing about RJ is we love him. He's so engaged with this, loves the idea of this game, and really the thing we've learned about RJ is he really does care about Ghostface and what is being done with it. And so in reviewing some of the art, just letting you know, there were some images that we created that he thought were a little too much. And so we toned a few things back. But that's the thing, is we want to put Ghostface in front and center and make sure he represents the best of Ghostface. And so we're celebrating the line of masks. I mean, let's face it. And if you guys saw the last Scream movie, all the merchandise, like this thing, which I love, by the way, it's Ghostface. There's no cast and crew on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's all Ghostface merchandise. And so we're just celebrating the many of the masks in the line. You're big Ghostface fans. Canada will appreciate it for sure. Yay. Awesome. That's the point. Because I said to RJ once, like, why do you have all these masks? Like, what's the point of them? And, as I wasn't a collector, maybe Nate can tell you, like, what is the allure, Nate, of all the masks? Like, why do collectors love them so much?
I guess it's an easy mask to make variants of. And, as we know, as collectors love variants. They love different versions, but they don't like anything like so drastically different and crazy. Like, nobody wants a Ghostface mask that doesn't look like Ghostface. So, just offering like different colors, different patterns on it, different designs.
Well, like, for instance, like, nobody's going to buy a bright orange Michael Myers mask. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
But they do for Ghostface. So to me, it's got its own kind of fascination, its own kind of appeal. I can't imagine, like, I collected Halloween stuff for years and years and years. I had a website that showed it all. If there was a, gold Myers mask, I might have bought it, but would have thought it was weird, but like, for Ghostface, it's like, oh, the oil slick mask is amazing. I need to have that mask. That, there was that Arctic freeze one or whatever. Like, I was like, that's amazing. And so, so trick or treater Krampus. All right. So here's the thing. We have so many ideas, and yes, games are coming and they'll play completely differently. So this 4-game series is like its own thing, but, yeah, so like for Black Christmas, it would be a game that plays completely differently, new rules. We want to try and make some of the games legitimately scary. But yeah, Trick or Treat or Krampus, I love both those movies. That would be fantastic if. So it's Nate and I basically in the company with artists over at Fright Rags. And so we're just starting out. I mean, it's small. I mean, and we've figured out how to run the company smoothly and everything. And so we're growing. So yeah, but we're going to add those. We'll add those to the list. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we want to do Friday the 13th movies. We want to do Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And we want to do, the obvious stuff. But then we want to, like, I love Slumber Party Massacre. I love Terror Train. By the way, I was letting you know, we inquired about Terror Train, and they're not licensing the title. So we can't do Terror Train, but we might be able to in a year, Hi, Kay. Trick or treat. Yeah, it would be cool. Nate and I were talking about asking RJ to actually make the real mask, to the full size mask. That would be really, really cool. Yeah, see, so I'm not a Scream or Ghostface collector, but I would buy that mask. It is amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, cool. Well, that's let me see. Well, okay. So just pointing this out to you is Some Call Me V. This is not a Scream game, and there was a Scream game. Funko put out a game. I don't have it. Nate, you have it. Have you played it?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's all right. I mean, it's difficult because it completely relies on the app, and right there tells you someday they're not going to support the app anymore. As soon as they don't, you can't play the game anymore.
Right.
It's also very fast paced, which is fine for a game like that. like you can get through one game in like 2 minutes, or you can get through one in like 7 minutes. But every time you restart the game, you have to set up the app again. So say you have like 4 people playing.
Right.
You have to go into the app and select 4 players. You have to put everybody's name in, spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, spot 4. Then you start the game. If the game's over in 2 minutes and you hit play again, you have to once again select 4 players. You put everybody's name again. It doesn't save anything. So there's, it's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, just letting everybody know, we planned on having an app as a part of the Ghostface game, and we had it designed, and it was all texting. It was like Ghostface is like texting you during the game, and you type in all your name. 4 of you are playing. You type in your names, and like randomly throughout the game, you'll get a text, and it'll say, ask Nate if he's got a weapon. And it was creepy. It was like, oh, this is really weird. It was like somebody's really texting you. But the more we were testing it and everything, it sort of detracted from the retro feeling of the game, which is, just we didn't want like this added level of, this phone having to buzz throughout it, because you're trying to stop 3 killers on the board. It's not easy. And so with this added texting, it just kind of felt a little too challenging, but also not necessary. So when we were on the verge of like saying we don't need this. When we saw that the Funko game came out and it had an app, we were like, okay, let's not do the app. And we're better. It's a better game for it. Any plans to do Chucky or Nightmare or Elm Street games? I feel like Bride of Chucky will. Oh my God, you must be psychic, Mikey, because we were just talking about Bride of Chucky. So yeah, and we would love to do Nightmare. I don't know if you know, but the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street are sort of on hold right now because. They're just kind of like with West passing, and I don't think New Line Cinema even has the rights anymore. It's kind of with his estate. And so, so it's all about rights. When you're chasing down rights, they're very, 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 very expensive. So just know that, like Black Christmas is going to be an expensive license, but I have a relationship with them. I produced the 25 Years of Terror Halloween documentary, and I've kept in touch with the licensor because I licensed a clip from them. And so it's when you know the licensor, it's a little easier. Like Nate and I have been friends with RJ for years and years. Nate and I worked on the Still Screaming documentary. And so we've kept in touch with RJ. So it was relatively easy to make the inquiry. It was a super expensive license, but we were able to get the inquiry over pretty quickly. So it really comes down to licensing. I mean, if the licensor says it's too much money, then it's too much money. But if they say, or if they don't respond, or if they say no, whatever. So a lot of these things hinge on, can we get a license for it? And the great thing with Fright Rags is, that was their Halloween license. They had the license to Halloween too. So we were able to get in and make that game because of that reason. So, Happy Death Day would be a cool one. Yeah, that would be like you're sort of repeating. Huh. So you guys, we have a lot of games to do. Like I have my favorite. Like I want to do like Slumber Party Massacre. I want to do Leprechaun. Like movies that people are like, why would I do that? But think about what else do you do on on St. Patrick's Day? You eat I don't know. You eat corned beef and wear green and drink a beer. I don't know. Yes. So the Silent Night add-ons, Kevin, we have a small supply of just the add-ons that are going to be available. I believe it's like 30. So when we send out that link that gets you to that private area where you can order, you will be able, for My Bloody Valentine, we can't. But I know for Silent Night, Deadly Night, we have about like 30 sets of just the add-ons. So that you'll be able to get. Oh my God, I inquired about Wishmaster Eric. I actually went to Peter Atkins, whom I've interviewed for a documentary I produced, and I knew Peter, and so he wrote Wishmaster. He wrote the original Wishmaster. I love Wishmaster so much. It's one of my favorite horror movies. And even he didn't know who owned the rights. So we're on the hunt. I would love to do. I mean, it was so great. Think about a board game where you're like asking the Wishmaster to grant you wishes and they backfire, and like, how fun is that? We fully realize that the games we've been making now play the same way, and there's a reason for that. But we really do want to create other experiences for other other movies. So great idea, Eric. How do we decide on the? It was really just listing them all and then choosing them. We stayed away from the political ones. We just figured we just didn't want to add those. But we Ben over at Fright Rags, his team, we were all part of it. So me, Nate, RJ, Ben, everybody was like, here's the list. Which ones do you want to use? And honestly, just from a board game design perspective, you don't want masks that look too similar. You want to be able to see the green one and the orange one to be able to easily tell them apart because you're playing a game. So that was my main concern. But yeah, the oil slick one. I love the orange one. I don't know. I love them all. I do. So yes, absolutely. Different games with different mechanics. We're planning a few of them right now. Like this card game, this Hex Deck card game. Please pick it up. I swear to you, you'll play it all the time. Every night I play it. I have digital prototypes from different IPs that we're working on. I had mentioned Silent Night, Deadly Night, so we just got that when I play it every night. It's so fun, and you just watch TV and you just sort of play this little game. You can bring it to a coffee shop, but that's a wholly different solo game. We're going to do party games, complicated games, easy games, big games, small games, things like that. Okay, so Kevin, yes, it is a holiday theme because in my mind, the Ghostface game takes place on July 4th. So there was some back and forth about, well, why make it your July 4th game? It's just a drive-in in the summer. So whether it's Memorial Day, Labor Day, July 4th, whatever, pick a holiday. It is your summer game. So that's how I've looked at it. It is a holiday game. Just slot it in the summer somewhere. I mean, it's Ghostface, so you can do whatever you want with it. Leprechaun is great. We inquired about Leprechaun. It's very expensive. That is a variable in this, but if we can make Leprechaun work, that would be amazing. The Purge could be fun.
Yeah,
Neat, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
The Purge would be great. Yeah, and the design process for a game is not easy. It's like if we were selling t-shirts, it's just, hey, let's create a cool t-shirt design. But a game needs to be designed, developed, tested and tested like 100 times tested. That can't be understated. And then it's got to be manufactured, so it takes a while to create a game, which is another reason to really, I appreciate these games is that, this was not easy. This was like a task, and the fact that people are playing them and liking them and we get to do, a bunch of them, like, it's just the most thrilling. I get emails from people that say, oh, I play with my kids all the time. And I'm like, that's amazing. And one woman emailed me and said, she had like a sick grandmother. And she's like, we play My Bloody Valentine every day. We love it. It's our thing. I mean, that makes me feel so amazing. So anyway, advice. Oh my God. What advice do you have, Nate?
Just go for it, but whenever you think you have a great idea for a game, like how it works, just test it. Yeah. Like Anthony just said, test it 100 times because I can guarantee you're going to find 10,000 things wrong with it in that process.
So, here was a game that we tested. I'm going to take this out now. I'm going to show them. I don't care what you say. There's this little stack of cards. Oh, okay. Remember these? It's this little stack of cards and these 6 dice. This is the game. It's a stack of cards and these 6 cubes, right? These different colored cubes. This is the whole game. And Nate tested it. I tested it. And it just kind of bombed. Like it was like the way, basically what it is, you have a group of people. It could be any size group of people. I would say 4 to 100. That's what was great about this game. So one person takes one of the dice. So let's say it's a red one and they sort of put it in their hand and the other dice are hidden. So like everybody in the room knows. So there's one person sitting in a chair who doesn't see this, but like say there's 100 people, 99 people see that a red die was selected and hidden in a hand. The person who doesn't know this turns around and all they try to do is figure out which color the person is holding in their hand. And these cards say, you must tell the truth. You must lie. or you can choose to tell the truth or lie. And so it's basically a hand gesture thing and everything. And we just had this idea and it kind of bombed. It wasn't fun, you know, and like that's part of the design process is to try things that you could vision in your head, you know. So Queen Q Reem, I love your name. You got to try things because you don't know what's going to work or not. I mean, the Silent Night Deadly Night game I built around the premise of slasher movies. Think about this: Silent Night, Deadly Night, Halloween, My Bloody Valentine, Friday the 13th movies. They all have a lot of tropes built into them. There's usually a killer, a very identifiable killer that's trying to get from one place to another. There's usually a sheriff, you know, Officer Barnes in Silent Night, Deadly Night, Chief Newbie in My Bloody Valentine, Officer Hunt in Halloween, you know, and there's usually an officer. So there's tropes. So we built a game around slasher tropes. And so it worked to create the Stop the Killer series. So you sort of put yourself in the movie and try to stop the killer. And you've got obstacles and roadblocks and you're drawing cards and all that. So you play as your favorite character. But when it comes to like proprietary games, like if you go to Target or Walmart and you see all those games, somebody dreamt up those ideas. Nate and I are working on a game now for a writers association. Let's put it that way. And it's a really fun party game where they're coming up with titles to books off the cuff. And, you know, and it's like, you know, and so we had this really fun idea and they loved it. We pitched it. They loved it. They want to do it. But you just have to think of fun ways. Go to boardgamegeek.com. They have a list of mechanics there. Every mechanic that's ever been put in a board game is listed there. And also go to YouTube and look up how to design board games. There's a couple of really cool content creators that are posting courses, not courses, but like video series on their thoughts on how to design board games. So that's the tips I would give you. Same basic mechanics for different level games is awesome. Cool. Which game, Kevin, which game is it that your 8-year-old granddaughter loves? Is it My Bloody Valentine, Silent Night, Deadly Night? But yeah, so Valentine 2001 game. Oh my God. Valentine is one of that. Oh my God, I know. I love that movie. I love it. And I've gotten to know the director, Jamie Blank. You're talking about the Jamie Blanks movie, right? Yeah. I've gotten to know him over the past couple of years on email because I love Valentine. And he is the greatest guy. I'm sure he would love to see a game. Well, I don't know. Maybe he'd be like, a game. I don't know. I don't know. He's not a snob or anything. But Bloody Valentine. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Awesome. Glad you guys play. It's fun. You know, like, you know, it's not scary. You know, there's images of like blood and stuff on it. But I mean, it's not a movie. It's a game. You're playing a game. So. Matt, oh, hey, Matt. Hello. So Matt is the writer and director of the Halloween 2 Kickstarter board game trailer. So go look that up. It's a little mini movie. If you haven't contributed to that campaign, go check it. Just type in Halloween 2 Kickstarter, click on the play button, and you'll see a really cool trailer for a board game. Yes, Nate and I were just talking about Killer Clowns and Pumpkinhead.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Killer Clowns is huge. I didn't know the size of the audience for that. I mean, there's a lot of people that love Killer Clowns. Pumpkinhead is a personal favorite of mine. It's in my top 10. I love that movie so much. There's a lot of work for us to do. And so, you know, listen, sign up on our mailing list at stopthekiller.com. You'll be alerted whenever we get a bright idea for a game. And you know, we're not going to crank these out. It's not like we're going to do 20 games a year or anything. We want to make great games, you know, that you know we've tested and we love and are made with passion. That's kind of what we want to do here. And so both of those titles would be amazing. Killer Clowns, think about the cotton candy and how beautiful and bright and colorful it could be, and all that. The Prowler, oh my God,
love the Prowler. That'd be awesome.
You're not the only one to suggest the Prowler. I'm telling you, I get that all the time. Go back to the other campaigns and people make suggestions and Prowler comes up a lot. And that is that's got Nate. That's going to be a scary game. That is very unsettling game. A movie. The movie is really hard to watch in places. And I wonder if we could bring that, to a game. Like, is it really scary, or does it cause anxiety?
Right.
That's one thing about the Hex decks. There is an anxiety when you're playing the game, because remember, you're trying to stop these 5 Ghostface attacks, in the game, and there is a genuine anxiety when you're drawing the cards if one of them pops up. And there have been times where I play it where I'm like, sort of on autopilot, and I'm watching TV and he shows up and I'm like, it's weird. They're games, but they can affect you. So, well, cool. Well, we didn't want this to go too long, and so we're nearing an hour. But if anyone has any last minute questions, let me know. That's amazing. We could do that. Playing as Bruce Campbell. Who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
It's probably not even in the cars. Or Jeepers Creepers ever be a possibility? I understand why you're saying it's not even in the cards, but that's a great pun, by the way. I have no problem doing a game based on Jeepers Creepers. Just telling you, like I know the issue with that and everything. But Nate and I have talked frequently about we not frequently, but a couple of times we've talked about Jeepers Creepers. I don't want to put any money in that guy's pocket, but if we could avoid that, then I love Jeepers Creepers. It's a fantastic little movie. I like part 2 as well, not necessarily part 3, but
or 4.
4. I haven't seen 4. I haven't seen it because everyone said don't see it.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. One of them.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, if you guys ever ever want to reach out to us with suggestions and anything, just email us at Stop the Killer. You can just a little email. There's either an email form or an email address there. Contact us. We want to be very engaged. Tell us what you want, and we'll make these games sort of. This series sort of happened organically. Like we explained it in the Kickstarter video. So tomorrow it's 11-minute video. Go watch the video and you'll see like exactly why did we do Silent Night, Deadly Night? Why did we do My Bloody Valentine, then Halloween, and then Ghostface next? Like how did it all happen and why did it happen? And we kind of, in this last entry in the series, we just wanted to tell you exactly sort of what Stop the Killer is and how and why it happened. And you'll see Scott and Dennis, who own the rights to Silent Night, Deadly Night, there in the video. George Mihalka is in there as well. He directed My Bloody Valentine. Yes, you can. The Kickstarter, Matthew, for Halloween 2 is over, but there is a pledge manager where for about 4 or 5 more days, you can order the Halloween 2 game. So just go to stopthekiller.com and scroll down on the homepage and you'll find a link where you can order your copy. And yes, you can still grab one. If you pledge to the Kickstarter for Ghostface, if we have games left for Halloween 2, because we've ordered a very fixed amount of games. If we haven't sold them all, then we'll give you access and you can buy it towards the end of the Kickstarter. You can add it on to your Ghostface pledge. Awesome. Thank you, number one Wonder Fan. Awesome. Cool. Well, is this my cat? Here he is. This is Lester. Hey. Hold on. I'm going to swing him around this way. Anyway, this is Lester. He's sort of the mascot here at Stop the Killer. When does Ghostface launch Eastern? Is that what you mean? Okay, I was a little... So Ghostface launches tomorrow at noon Eastern. So you're East Coast, New York, North Carolina, Florida. So noon. Just go to stopthekiller.com, click on the big game picture, and it'll take you straight there. Or go to the pre-launch page at Kickstarter and sign up, and you'll just get notified when it launches. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri. Dimitri is great. I actually bumped into Dimitri at the Halloween convention over this past weekend. So Stop the Killer had a booth at the Midsummer Scream Convention, which is here in Los Angeles a couple months ago. And Dimitri has a fantastic podcast or YouTube channel. And he did an interview with me, and we've kept in touch. And he's a huge supporter of the games. And so it was great to see you, Dimitri. He plays the games frequently. At the Cinescope, right? That's the name of his channel. All right. Any last minute questions? Maybe Lester will answer it for you. All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that little preview. And I'm going to add that graphic that was missing because I didn't realize that. Mikey, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of work to do. Lots of great games coming. So awesome. All right. Should we sign off?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Thanks, everybody.
Excited.
Thank you. See you tomorrow at Ghostface. Okay. Bye.